Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we got for you. Bitcoin, Lightning Network, and Cash App. We're going to talk about it. Yen stablecoin coming. How about this? Ripple, SBI, Tranglo flow chart. And how about this one? XRP gains. But what about XRP being a security or a stable coin per the recent sources to Fox Business News? We'll talk about that. And we've got a clip for you today from House Financial Services Committee hearing. It's Nellie Liang, the Undersecretary for the U.S. Treasury. You may not like what she's got to say. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Take a look at it right now. $1.961 trillion market cap for crypto right now. It is February 8, 2022. Good day, everybody. We are off by 1.80%. Really quickly with the numbers here. 43,000 slightly plus here for Bitcoin. Ethereum is 3,000 plus. We see XRP now at the number 6 spot at 81 cents right now. More than 29% gains on the 7-day at this moment. Looking at the price range very quickly here, ranging between 78 cents on the low side and 91 cents on the top. Lots of people talking about different options and things they can do when it comes to their crypto and how to hold on to their gains, especially when the market turns green like this. Well, this is DD Tahutu, who I got a chance to meet this gentleman right here in the middle of the photo, and this is his wonderful family. And I got a chance to meet him in 2019. He probably doesn't remember me, but I remember him, and it was a pleasure to meet him. And basically, he has toured the world with his family for the last 4 or 5 years, and they have decided to take their Bitcoin family, and they are relocating now and putting their roots down in Portugal. And they're doing this because of the taxes for crypto. And Tahutu, I guess it's Tahutu, or Tahutu's family chooses Portugal for the advantageous crypto tax rules, which include zero tax on Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to get down here to a spot here that I can share with you here, because we've talked a lot about one of the other safe havens around the world is Puerto Rico. But in Portugal, apparently, if you're from Europe especially, there is not a property ownership relative requirement for really relocating into Portugal. If if you were in the U.S. moving to Puerto Rico, you would have to buy a home and you have to spend a certain amount of days there, which I believe is about 180 days, about a half year or so. So that's the beautiful part for him and his family to move there. You know, these things are very intensive to consider and do. And look, I'm 50 years old. If I was a younger man, I would consider this kind of thing and maybe even traveling the world as he's done with his family, and shout out to him for being able to do it. But what I would say is that, you know, you can do something that doesn't have you picking up and relocating in such a extreme manner like that. And if you're me, it's what I do. I trust capital. It's crypto IRAs. It's tax-free crypto. The only thing better than buying crypto is buying tax-free crypto. And that's what you can do here. And to that point, they have been adding tons of different coins on here that you can actually buy and participate in. And by the way, if you remember, Axie Infinity token is one of them, and it just recently gained 40%. So imagine that, 40% gains on your tax-free crypto investment. Come on in. Understanding right here, Tether ticking time bomb may be at hand, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't the first time we have seen Tether in the crosshairs of different regulators, whether it's New York State District Attorney or whether we see the government broadly here on the federal level. But I'm not going to get into this article. You should go read it. It's ProCoin News. They're amazing at everything they do. Go check them out. We're going to get into some other information in just a second. But before we do, I want to talk about some of the other places. You know, I talk about, look, the market's going green here. So we want to talk about, what do we do with our money? What do we do with our gains? What do we do with these things? And one of the things, or three of the things I talk about all the time are metals market, fintech, right, and crypto itself. These are usually three places of high ground that do well when the conventional markets are in a moment of correction or recession or things of that nature. So, well, here's another one I recently learned about, and I shared with you the other day, Masterworks. Masterworks is a place where I have really gotten excited about because I love art, and you can now invest in physical art by buying securities of that art. These are not NFTs. You are buying securities of the physical art, and that is exciting to me, and it's very, very affordable. Even though these paintings are multi-million-dollar paintings, the majority of them, you know, this art is amazing because it really has proven to hold its value over time and even through a pandemic. And you look at all these different asset classes that people look to invest in to really make sure that they have a safe haven for their money, especially when you have a good portfolio. Art has proven to be a real place of a safe haven for some of the richest people in the world. Go to Masterworks or the link in the top of the description and you will get there. And I'm telling you, you check it out for yourself. $20 investment in $1 million paintings if you want, up to as much money as you want to put in. I just think it's really incredible. I just bought again into a Banksy, and I also bought into a Christopher Wool artwork as well. And I'm going to be getting into an Andy Warhol and Picasso. I am very, very excited about this, especially as my portfolio grows. Check them out. Look right here. This is Ripple affiliated cryptocurrency. XRP has surpassed Cardano, Solana, becoming the sixth biggest cryptocurrency in market capitalization. We touched on this morning, and all of this while still not having clarity and the SEC lawsuit on its back. Imagine where we would be without it. Look at this piece of news here. Lightning Network is now available on Cash App. They say it's the fastest free way to pay anyone in Bitcoin, tweeted the company. Well, this is going to be interesting to watch this scale. I'm very interested about this and how they're able to do this for free with Bitcoin, unless it's just simply person to person. But I don't know how you get it there. I want to learn more about this and see what's going on. And speaking of learning more about this, we're going to learn a lot more about this too. This is Jimmy Valley right here. Shout out to him. He says, for those keeping score, this is the fourth Federal Reserve official caught insider trading since we initially delivered the proposed terms on September 13th for the deal proposing to the Fed for a buyback of XRP from retail holders at an extremely high price. He says, we already know Nancy Pelosi is the greatest stock trader in history. Is Janet Yellen next? And I asked a question here because it does seem to appear to show that Jerome Powell has made some purchases that he did not report during a blackout period. And you have to say, what is going on here? Hashtag rotten scoundrels. Did you buy any XRP? I'd be interested to know if any of those federal officials, the other three plus Jerome Powell, purchased any XRP as well. Right here we see MUFG, Ripple Partner, if my memory serves me correctly, and I'm pretty sure it does. Trust in Banking will release a yen-pegged stablecoin. The asset will be used in digital securities trading market. The bank sees the technology as being one that can save millions in cost. You know, look, I think we understand where all of this is going, right? But we're going to have some stuff for you in just a few minutes here that you're going to hear from the Undersecretary to the Domestic Finance for the U.S. Department of the Treasury. And I think you're going to hear her say some things that really point to the bank's lobbying money and lobbying power. That's what I believe. And then I'm going to offer a solution that I think is more reasonable than one that she does. The Federal Reserve and researchers at MIT collaborating on central bank digital currency initiative called Project Hamilton. We covered this the other day, but this is just to remind people this kind of news needs to be touched on more than once, right? Project Hamilton now tested a digital dollar that Fed claims can process 1.7 million transactions per second. But you know what? Again, think about this. Tom Emmer fighting a good fight here. Remember, he proposed legislation that would restrict the Federal Reserve as a central bank offering direct accounts to citizens and becoming a retail bank holder. And I think that is an amazing idea. That bill needs to be passed. Looking right here to support the whole idea and understanding of Ripple's growth, whether it's them or partners with them on exactly what has been happening. You want to talk about market infrastructure? Take a look at this. Ripple's SBI, Tranglo, etc. flow chart from Chris O'Brien right here. Take a look at this. UAE, Ripple's in here. You got PayPal, or that's actually not PayPal. That's People is the way you say that. Bank Alphala, and then you have Egypt, Pakistan. I mean, you see it here. Malaysia, Australia, South Korea, Philippines. I mean, you know, it's all right here. SBI, Indus Bank, India, Hong Kong, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore. Look at what is taking place here. Are we to really believe that the USA, where the company is located, is not going to participate in this kind of activity? I find it very hard to believe. And in fact, I also find that's the reason we're in the situation we're in with the executive order from the White House that will be dropping any day now on stablecoins and crypto. We're going to get into that in just a second too. This is right here. Bank of International Settlements shows how fast SWIFT GPI cross payments really are, and it goes in here and shows you the time it takes in the light or dark blue 0 to 15 minutes, light blue 15 to 2 hours, lighter 2 to 4, 4 to 6 for a light shade of pink, darker shade there is 6 to 12, and 12 to 24 for the dark red there. Well, I can tell you over here in the China region, as someone who had a business that had manufacturing out of China and was a global importer, to be able to get that product back into the United States, every time I sent money there, it took days, not hours. It took days. So this chart is quite friendly to the understanding of SWIFT and its messaging wiring system. And you never knew the chain and path of your money when it was sent. You just hoped to hear from the manufacturer that it had been received by the bank in China. So there's that right there. Now let's take a look at this, because this is something that we need to try to get some clarity on. And I am hoping that one of these people can respond to clarify for us. Yesterday, Charles Gasparino put out some news and shared some news from Eleanor Tarrant and himself. And he was on Liz Clayman and the earlier show. And I want them to clarify, because they used the terms executive order, with Liz Clayman used that term. And then Charles Gasparino was using the word report. What I'm looking to clarify here is this. Are your sources saying XRP could be a security, citing the President's Working Group report? Or is your source citing that the executive order is where you're getting this from? Thank you for all your coverage, and I'm hoping to hear from one of them as soon as possible. I think it's important that we try to get the clarity on what the source is citing to them, because if it's the President's Working Group report, that would make much more sense to me, because an executive order, I don't believe, is going to be in a position to cite one asset for clarity. I believe, if anything, the executive order may recommend that the FSOC craft regulations for the market regulators, SEC, CFTC, and may even go as far as to release a framework of how to classify these assets. And that would be amazing in itself, wouldn't it? But not certainly to point out any one asset. I don't believe that's going to happen. Look right here. Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, has included evaluating crypto asset risk on its list of priorities for the year. And it's going to get bigger than that, because you're going to hear from Nellie Liang, the Undersecretary, in just a moment, who, by the way, Gold Telegraph shares here, says crypto intermediaries need more regulation. Also says need for stablecoin legislation is urgent. We covered that in the morning video from Ron Hammond's thread. And the U.S. Treasury from Blockwork, stablecoins can promote financial inclusion. Very interesting is right, bar chart. But I want to play you now the clip here that really got me and took me by storm here. This is Nellie Liang, Undersecretary for the U.S. Treasury. And listen what she says, because I believe this is the tweet I got. Here you go. Banks looking to take this space over through a regulatory height bar for which they already have license for, while creating a firewall to keep fintech out. Listen to this clip here.
Thank you, Chairwoman Waters, for that question. I would answer that in two parts.
Hold on. Where's the sound? 1 second here. Let me back this up. I wanted to hear this too. 1 second.
Thank you, Chairwoman Waters, for that question. I would answer that in two parts. I think first, the first question is, should technology companies be allowed to issue stablecoins? And I think the report recommends that stablecoins be issued by insured depository institutions. And in that sense, then stablecoins would not recommend that stablecoins be issued by technology companies. This is the issue of the separation of banking and commerce has been an issue that Congress has grappled with for many years. In this case, we believe stablecoins as a payment instrument should not be issued by a technology firm.
Did you catch that one? Yeah, that's your banking lobby money hard at work right there is what that is. Yeah, not in her pocket because she was appointed, obviously. What I'm suggesting is this is how you know where the money really comes from. There's more money. Look, the two biggest lobbyists on the planet, banks and pharmaceuticals. And wouldn't you know it? We're seeing evidence of that right here because look who's been appointed. Somebody with the perspective to be an undersecretary to the Treasury who just happens to align with the banks. Now, what we have here is a situation where we're talking about the banks using regulatory hype bar to create the firewall to keep fintech companies out. These are the companies that created the damn tech to begin with, and they want to keep them out? Is this more of what we're seeing, like Gary Gensler with the SEC, of using the regulator to pick winners and losers because the fintech company can't get the license that the banking companies have? This is exactly what we're seeing right here. If we're going to really do this thing right, I believe, and you know what, and the nerve of me to suggest it, you got to split the baby. Private fintech companies should be allowed to create stable coins. However, they should be made to put their reserves for these said stable coins in a federally chartered bank that's held to a heightened prudential of supervisory oversight. There you have it. I didn't say all about fintech. I didn't say all about banks. I split the baby. Look, banks are not innovators. That is obvious. But what is being pitched here, if I'm hearing this correctly and understanding it, is exactly the bank lobbying money put through by an appointed official who happens to align with heavily regulated ideas. Because look at what we're talking about here. All right, let's go with Nellie Liang for a second and what she's suggesting. Let me get her picture up here just for a second. Let's go with what Nellie Liang is suggesting here. That the banks handle it all from soup to nuts, A to Z, for stablecoin issuance, creation, the whole thing. Well, one, Circle, Jeremy Allaire, USD coin, backed by Goldman Sachs, looks like they're getting in. But let's take a look at JP Morgan. One of the biggest offenders when it comes to manipulating the metals market. They get caught yearly, damn near, manipulating markets for their advantage, hurting retail investors just like you and me. We're going to let them create a stable coin? Is that what we're going to do, Nellie? We're going to let JP Morgan's crooked ass run a stable coin because that's the safer play? Oh, please pack your things and go. Yeah, that's how we do it there. Look, I the only way I think you could see this is that you got to split the responsibilities in order to have accountability. Let fintech do what they do and let them create the tech. Let the banks do what they're supposed to do because the regulatory framework for oversight's already there. Let them create the stable coin if they want to do it, but you got to hold it in a federally chartered bank to a prudential regulator. That's the way it is, the OCC or the Treasury one. Look, this is where it is, and this is what they're trying to do right now, and make no mistake about it, this is your banking lobby money hard at work, and they don't give a damn about you and me. Hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below, share with somebody you know. Make sure you check out all the links in the description and comment box. They're trusted, vetted links. Be careful what you click on. These links are clean links as products and services I use each and every day with great specials and deals, but you got to click the links. I'll catch all of you on the next one.